Alright, this is what I just did a few minutes ago down the road on my test drive. I was utilizing this vacuum connection on the carburetor on the front left, and I was using this hose here, which is on the front of the distributor. I guess that I'm guessing that's a vacuum advance, but just guessing because I don't know for sure. But what I did was there's two connections right here on top of each other, and when I left the house and took my ride, I hooked it up to that top one first. Didn't really feel a whole lot of difference and didn't notice anything different. So when I got down to where I was going, I moved it to the bottom one. Immediately there's two things I noticed. The first, which was the most noticeable, was the incredible exhaust leak that it sounded like I had over here disappeared. It was a lot of ticking, so now I'm wondering if that was an exhaust leak or if there's something else making the ticking noise. I wish I could replicate. I mean, I guess I can replicate it later if anybody wants to hear it, but it certainly sounded like an exhaust leak, tick 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 the whole time over here on the passenger side. So that happened as soon as I put it on the bottom port there. And the other thing I noticed was that the RPM shot up at least 500 or so RPM. So I got my screwdriver out and adjusted the idle screw right there, got it back down to where once I put it in drive, it dropped to about 650, which, you know, seems to be the happy spot. And then of course I took the ride, and still sounds great, but for some reason I'm still scratching my head because I don't know for sure if, sorry about that, let me get this flashlight here. I still don't know if the secondaries are kicking in. So one of my questions is for everybody, obviously you can see the butterflies open here because the truck's warm, or on the front here for the choke's basically wide open. So I said butterfly, I guess that's not really a butterfly, but in any case that's open because the truck's warm. But you got this guy back here, it's got a, I know there's like a it goes down in this hole, and there, I know there's a spring in there because I installed it when I rebuilt the carburetor. It's a spring very similar to the accelerator pump that's right here, except it's not as rigid. But anyway, this is what was sticking the other day, and I can move it okay with my hand. Of course, you know, it shuts on its own, and my assumption was when you went down the road and put it under heavy load, that when the secondaries kicked in, the vacuum would drop and this would open up. But I don't know if that's the case. When I had it running earlier before I left, you know, I just manually revved it up here underneath the hood and looked, and it's no actuation. So I don't know if that's something that has to happen while you're driving under a heavier load. But I've yet to see those open, and I'm assuming that is supposed to open for at some point for some reason. The guy right here, so I don't know. And but other than that, it actually is running really good in my opinion. It idles great. It accelerates very well. It will bump when it bumps down. When I put it to the floor, it will get up to about 3,500 RPM and then shift very smoothly. But I guess the next thing is to try to adjust the timing here. I was looking at this earlier to see, because I haven't done this in probably 30 years. I did have a 86 Mustang back in the day, but I don't know, it looks like there's a nut or something down there. I don't know if I can focus in on it or not, but right there, I don't know if that's what I loosened. And then I guess you're able to turn it unless it's over here on the back side, but like I said, I'm gonna have to do some digging on that to see. So I don't know, that's the only one I see that looks like it can be turned, and even then I can't go straight down on that. Almost you have to use some sort of angle, like an extension with the angle on it to get to that. So that might be the next thing I do, just to see if I've read about these the 77s, the late 70s 460s being retarded from the factory on purpose just for fuel economy. That also was the point of this 4350. It was supposed to be the first, I think, a foray into economizing the 460, even though I don't think you could call 8 or 9 miles per gallon economizing, but I think that was for the whole point of the spread bore, possibly for, you know, going around town with the smaller primaries and then only having the secondaries, obviously, when you needed the power. But that's about it for now, so we'll see if anybody has any suggestions. I appreciate it.